Welcome to Books We Never Read. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Jason.
So many of you know I was a teacher for 13 years and I taught English for 13 years. So when people ask, how do I read more or how do I have time to read more, I tend to approach that question from the point of view of a teacher who had to convince teenagers how to read more every day.
And for the last 10 years, I've been using my degree in clinical psychology to help people build new and positive behaviors.
My first recommendation to read more is to keep your book wherever you plop. So if that's on the little nook where you eat breakfast in the mornings, keep your book there and read a couple of pages while you eat breakfast or after you eat breakfast. If you have a comfy chair where you usually plop at the end of the day, keep your book next to that comfy chair. And that way, when you're maybe likely just to be scrolling around on your phone, you can pick up your book instead and read a couple of pages. If you are willing to try a Kindle app, or not to give free promotions, but any kind of e-reader app, then you have your book with you everywhere you go because it's on your phone. And you can be sitting, at the car maintenance shop or, in the parking lot or whatever, wherever it is that you're waiting in the pickup line for your kids, and you can read a few pages from your book while you're chilling.
If you're watching this video, you are probably already motivated to start reading. But motivation isn't enough. What you need instead is discipline. Motivation is the feeling that you have that you want to do something, but discipline is going to be the structure that you set up using that motivation so that you can continue that pattern of behavior even when the motivation goes away. And part of discipline is setting up a schedule. When are you going to read? How are you going to read? Making sure that you build it into your schedule as a normal part of your schedule. Do you eat breakfast every day at the same time? You need to be reading every day at the same time, but find something that works for you.
To make a goal for your reading, you can either make a page goal or you can make a time goal. To make a page goal, before you start reading your book, you need to divide your book into however many pages at a time you want to read. And you put a sticky note at each page goal. And so each day, when you sit down and read, you need to read to the next sticky note. And so every day you read to the next sticky note and eventually you'll finish the book. An important thing to keep in mind is that you only have 24 hours in a day, just like everybody else. No one has more time. So whatever this page goal or time goal is, has to come out of time that you use somewhere else. So maybe you're waking up that many minutes earlier each day, or you're staying awake that many minutes later. If you're watching TV, that many minutes less. You have to pick where it's going to come from. But if you set that goal and you stick to it every day, you will finish your book.
All right. For my second point, I'm going to suggest that you set reasonable goals. It's going to be very easy for you when you are excited to say, I want to read 5 books this month, and that might be unattainable. You may say, I want to read 1 book this week, and that may be unattainable. To set a reasonable goal, set a goal for today. Piggybacking off of what Nicole said, set a reasonable place for your sticky notes, for your bookmarks, instead of something that is particularly large, and make sure that you can reach that. The worst thing that can possibly happen as you are trying to begin to read is to set a goal that you can't reach, so you become discouraged and you stop. By setting something reasonable, by setting something a little low in the beginning and then working your way up, you're more likely to stick with it in the long run.
My last tip is a reminder that reading is a skill. Just like anything else, it has to be practiced and honed. So you've got to be willing to try some things differently if you want to improve. So I mentioned in a previous point, you can try an e-reader. It gives you more access to your book throughout the day and more opportunities to read. Another thing that you can try is audiobooks. It might be awkward at first, but the more you listen, the more you'll comprehend, the more you'll retain. And it means that that's some time that you can do some other things that don't require brain processing power, like vacuuming or unloading the dishwasher. You can listen to your audiobook while you knock out a couple of mundane chores. And there you've, made the most of your time. You've gained some time to read and you're accomplishing your goals.
For my final point, I would say don't do this alone. It's always harder to build a new habit when you have no one else that you're doing it with. So join a book club. If you join a book club, you have other people who are reading along with you, people you can discuss things with, people you can have fun with, and make sure that this is an enjoyable new habit. Now, lucky for you, I've got a book club. And you can follow our channel link here and make sure that you see all the books that we've been reading and potentially join us. We meet live every Sunday at 10 a.m. Central, and you don't have to do that if you don't have the time. We would love for you to comment on the books that we have read and to tell us what you think, even if it's many, many months and years after we have already read it. One of the advantages of our book club in particular is that we have a syllabus that tells you exactly what to read each week, and then the videos go along with that. And so it's a good way to get into a habit of setting a goal because the goal has been set for you.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we want to hear your tips for getting more reading in the day. So please include those in the comment box below, and we can't wait to read those and try some of those out.